Hello, everybody. I am your host, Tabla Rosa, aka La Roza Negra, or Black Rose if you're nasty, and welcome back to another episode of the Roze Garden. And if you're wondering why I sound funny and I'm covered in a blanket right now, it's because I have a chronic case of strong friend syndrome, and I'm actively rejecting the lesson that life's trying to teach me right now. Which immediately brings me to my PS motherfucking A. Sit down, or life will sit you down. Yes, you heard me correctly. Sit the fuck down, or life will sit you down. Either you can choose to take care of yourself, or you'll put yourself in a conundrum because you're not taking care of yourself and eventually getting struck with some sort of ailment or disease that'll force you to have to come to an abrupt stop and put a hold in everything that you may have put in motion for yourself because you didn't deal with it when it was sooner or make time for yourself when it was sooner. And yes, I realize I'm being an utter hypocrite right now saying that because I should be completely sat right now. And I may be sitting in front of this camera right now. But no, I'm not sitting in the proper way that I'm talking about because I shouldn't be talking with the fact that I have this irritation and everything in my throat. But, you know, I, I was a theater kid first, and the show must go on. So I'm trying my best to hold on. I'm going to be swallowing a lot because swallowing helps actively make sure that my passageways stay open. Because, you know, I spent over 3 days with this condition. And then when I finally went to the hospital, I sat there for 5 hours and they made me take a bunch of tests for them to not actually have a conclusive answer. So they gave me this shot of whatever it was that sounded like it was some sort of steroid that sounds like Dexter's Laboratory, just so I could breathe better because it got rough. It got very, very rough. It got to a point where I could not actually breathe without tilting my neck a certain way and trying to like take slow breaths through my nostrils, and then I was hissing like a pregnant woman through my mouth, like it got weird, bro. Like it was bad. But I can't help but wonder how much of this could have been rectified, avoided in a previous sense if I had just taken the time to actively, one, get sleep like I probably should have, two, probably eat like I needed to, and maybe go outside and see the sun a little bit because I wasn't doing any of the three. And on top of not doing any of the three, I was working myself like a dog. I was working myself like a dog because, especially now, I am in my own bag and I insist in being my own creator and creative. And not only my own creator and creative, I insist on being my own self sustaining creator and creative, which means I am actively trying to source my own pieces of income. And I will, as I began manifesting in episode one. That manifestation was also me taking actions into place because at that point I had decided that I am not going to work for someone else. I will work with people. I will not work for people. And I meant that. I meant that with every fiber in my being. Is it going to be hard? Is it currently hard as hell? Hell yes. But I mean it. But realize a major facet in deciding to work for yourself doesn't means treat yourself how you want to be treated. And it sounds so cliche. Treat yourself even better than you would treat. Treat yourself how you would treat the person who's the sweetest to you, the best person in the world, the nicest person in the world, all of those people, because these are the people that you actively seem to care about. Not you. I don't know why you don't care about you, because if you cared about you, and I'm talking to me, but I'm talking to you too, because I got a feeling that if this is resonating with you and you didn't made it this far in, either you're a strong friend or you didn't send this to your strong friend for me to cuss them out. So let me handle it. Ooh, I don't even get hiccups. You see what I mean? It's a lot going on right now, and my body is just like, let me out, let me out. um what was I saying? There I was. Take better care of you than you would want the old jobs to, because old jobs don't give a fuck about you so long as you make them their money. And in the event that you don't make them their money, they're gonna get rid of you and find someone else to do it, which means you just got used and abused and then kicked to the curb. Are you disposable? Don't answer that, because some of you bitches are smart asses. And some of you also have degradation kinks, and I'm not here. Hit my line, but like, stop it. I'm the problem. I'm the problem. No, but in all seriousness, and just all of the ethical practices that you would put in play if you had people either working with you or for you or whatever, I want you to try and employ those same practices that you would with yourself. And if you wouldn't be ethical, like at the point when you're doing that to yourself, you need to have a stern conversation with yourself on whether or not you're actually being ethical and would be ethical to other people that are working with you. And two, if you would treat them that way, then why can't you? Because that is something you need to go seek therapy for. I'm not your therapist. I can't help you. I can help pose questions and maybe open some doors for you and your therapist to talk to each other. Y'all can play patty cake and figure it out, but I don't got the answers. I don't think any of us got the answers, Sway. I really don't. But I'm gonna drink this water because at least the water makes me feel better. I'm not gonna show this cup because they not sponsoring or paying me, but you can. You definitely can. Um, Now, to that same point, I do think a major facet and tenet of what's to come with my whole like condition right now is probably some downtime. I'm having to take things slower. I'm having to actually maybe take some time to try and step back. I'm probably gonna take a nap after this, which is gonna be very weird because like normally naps come from a place of, oh my god, I didn't even know I was going to sleep, or I would schedule little power naps but not actually go to sleep because I was working on other things that I should have probably been working on at a different and better time because my time management skills are both miraculous and subpar at the same time because I'm managing my time and I'm managing my time poorly with regards to all of my different responsibilities. I hyperfixate on one and then other things go neglected. Hence the lack of health. I'm also probably gonna have to put myself in a position to do things that I said I wouldn't do. I reject smoothies like my life depends on it because smoothies are not real food. I refuse to believe that. Like, we're not babies anymore. Liquid food don't count. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. But smoothies also help you get a lot of nutrients in your body in a very small, compact drink. So to Jamba Juice I go, I guess. And I mean, I'm still gonna work because realistically, I don't know how to stop. However, I'm gonna at least challenge myself to take it easy because as much as I may have these support systems that are around me and helping keep me sustained, it's still there's still things that fall within my responsibilities that are incredibly hard to maintain if I don't. And I'm not trying to put anyone in a position where they would have to actively take more care of me, which would be what would happen if I don't take care of myself. So I've got to stop, regroup, collect, figure out what's going on. I'm gonna give this about a week to marinate, figure out what's going on, and then I'll go back to the doctor or whatever, see what's up. Cause just like I said, just because the shot got down and got rid of most of the swelling so that I could breathe again doesn't mean it actually fixed the problem because they didn't even know what was going on initially at the hospital. I think I said I went to the hospital. If I didn't, yeah, it was a long night. Basically, uh, I'm gonna do a quick time lapse of the timeline if I didn't go over it already. Um, real busy week prior to now. Grinding, not really sleeping like I was supposed to, waking up at terrible times, probably not making the best practices because mental health also weighs in on your performance and your execution of things. Um, On top of all of that, I was also out here not really eating. When I was eating, I was probably eating terrible, and then drinking some water here and there to keep me going. But outside of all of that, I don't think I was doing what I was supposed to. I'm not gonna lie to you and say I was. Um, that all caught up with me very, very quickly. Because I pulled it all nighter, and then after pulling it all nighter, I thought I was okay, and um, I was exhausted, but I thought I was okay, and so in me thinking that I was okay, I tried to continue on. Well, I continued on, had a great day. Tried to sleep that night, didn't really get too much sleep. Woke up the next day, again, dove back into all of my responsibilities and stuff. Kept pushing. Again, didn't get much sleep that day. I was supposed to be taking a nap, a half nap, because I wouldn't actually go to sleep because I was too busy trying to be nosy and pay attention to what was going on. Um, then Sunday rolls around, and working, clicking, having a good time, actually sitting and watching and enjoying one of my friend's streams. And after she closes out the first segment of her stream, I knocked the hell out because I'm like, you know what? I need a break. I'm exhausted. This homework assignment gonna be fine. We gonna get this in on time. We gonna do all right. And I did. I didn't get the grade I wanted because, I probably did wait till the last minute. So I could have taken time to do things better. But in any case, I still got it in. I got a cool grade for everything I was doing. No, no biggie. Except I woke up from the nap that I was supposed to be having. The first time I woke up, because I woke up halfway out of it, I was cold as a bitch. When I tell you I got under the blankets, like I'm still kind of cold now, but most of this cold is because my mother consistently runs the AC. But I was cold as a bitch. And like, I know cold. I know other people know what cold means. I know other people know what cold is. It's no secret. It's not some fantabulous secret. None of that. Problem is, no matter how much you may know what cold is, cold will slap the dog shit out of you with no remorse, no concern. It will laugh even. That bitch came up, said, "Gotcha, bitch." My whole body said, "Ooh." I clenched under not one, but two covers, went back to sleep. But the problem was my throat was swelling up, so I couldn't really breathe, and I was confused. And so I'm like, oh, okay, something's going on with my throat. Maybe it's because of the cold. If I decide to warm it up, it'll be great. So I decided to make a heat pocket, put my head partially under it, but not too much so that I could still ventilate so that it didn't get too hot under there, because when it got too hot, it got stuffy and I got suffocated there and I still couldn't breathe. I was in misery. I moved the alarm clock back because I was still trying to micromanage my body, trying to heal itself. Also because I had procrastinated my homework and all of my other responsibilities and everything I was doing until the time right before it was due. Woke up from that nap. When I tell you the not being able to breathe got worse, I was out here hissing like a pregnant lady. I mean, it was terrible. It was horrible. And in all of its horridness, again, I kept pushing through, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna drink some water. I called my mom, asked her to get some soup. I'm like, it'll get so much better. Also, I don't know if you can hear my dogs barking in the back. I think they like to co-sign the stories. So if you can, I apologize. If you can't, whoop-de-doo, hooray. The mic is doing its job. Call my mom, tell her to get some soup. So I'm like, I'm gonna girl boss this. I'm gonna be all right. Um, take eating the soup that night. Nah, I'm nom, drinking it down. Drink me some hot tea. I'm thinking I'm killing the game because instantly I go from not being able to really talk to talking again. My throat wasn't normal, but it felt like the swelling was going down. I'm like, all right, cool. I didn't win. I'm drinking water. I'm like, whatever's going, mystery illness, 0, me 1. Wake up the next morning, throat's back swollen. It's like, oh, so it's not gone. Okay. Try and give it the same 1-2 combo that I gave it last night. the soup and the tea. And I got super spicy with it in the morning because I was like, I'm going to get this turmeric ginger tea. It's got turmeric, ginger, black pepper, so many other things. It's really, really great. It's going to be delicious. It's going to burn all this out because anybody who know, Caribbeans swear by a good piece of ginger. Ginger will do it. Ginger will always do it. Ginger, some vapor rub, and a lot of fluids because you're gonna be drinking a whole lot. That's without question. That's not up for debate. Anyways, I'm up here doing all of this. I consume it all. I'm drinking. I finish the soup. I'm drinking the tea. Nothing works. Not a singular solitary thing. It's like my whole body went, "Oh, you thought you were in control of this? Nah, I'm running this show." Made a clown out of me. I was still exhausted, and now on top of being exhausted, I now feel bloated and heavy because I just guzzled down ramen with broth. And anyone who knows me knows how I feel about soups and stuff. There are a few exceptions to the rule, but I generally hate soup. And so I'm sitting here bloated, wobbly, gross feeling, annoyed because none of it worked, raged out, and I'm sitting here having to calm myself down because I'm noticing the more I'm getting irritated, the harder it is to breathe. I end up going to sleep. Wake up from the sleep. Well, no, I end up halfway going to sleep because I also got a weird craving for pizza also, which, again, anyone who knows me, I had already consumed soup, but for me to want pizza is a bit odd because I don't really ever want pizza because pizza is typically for inebriated individuals and children, and I maintain that point. If you are either of those demographics, good for you. If you're not neither of those demographics and you still love pizza, also good for you. I still probably think you're a child. But that's okay. Embrace your inner child. We all are in one way or another. And that's not me trying to cope with that. I know that's an actual point of fact, but when it comes to pizza, yeah, you're the child. When it comes to chicken tenders, I'm the kid, and I'm going to say that, and I stand by that. I stand 10 toes on that, because chicken tenders, chicken fingers are good as shit, okay? Argue with your mama. But, I had a weird craving for pizza. My mom swears up and down I was being bratty. I went to sleep. Woke up. Still nothing. So now, that night, I'm sitting here again with the pregnant woman hissing. And as I'm doing the pregnant woman hissing, I'm lying. I'm like, you know what? I'm in bed. I'm going to do a different form of work. Because, I can't just stop and let myself heal. I go back into finishing online work that I started because I'm like, I'm supposed to be working on this thread. And for those of you who are watching this and have actually been consuming that thread, yes, it was the Resident Evil one. I started it back in August and I said I was going to have it finished by the end of the month. I ain't say which month. I finished it though. It got finished. No, I'm kidding. But I was in bed, and I'm like, if I gotta lay still, I'm gonna lay still, and I'm gonna watch something. And if I'm watching something, I'm gonna watch something, and I'm gonna put in these reactions on this thread, and they gonna get these reactions so I can use them later and do what I'm supposed to be doing and everything, and I'm gonna get all of these wheels in motion, and pa-da-pa-pa. This can't stop me. I know how to pimp the game. I know how to finesse. Wrong. I finished the series, but then after I finished the series, the problem is, initially the plan was for my mom to finish making dinner and everything, and then after she finished making dinner, she was going to give me a ride to the hospital. She came upstairs, and all of my there was a lapse in communication because after she finished dinner and everything, she came upstairs, and I was unaware that she came upstairs. But then she came upstairs. Not only did she come upstairs, she went to bed. So now my mother's asleep. I'm struggling to breathe. I'm waddling around, waiting for a symbol, waiting for a sign. Clock strikes midnight, essentially, and I go waddling over there to see what's going on. She knocked out. So now, I'm sitting there, slightly panicked, because, supposed to be going to the hospital. I have no idea, no control about what's going on, no idea what's going on. Just a little stressed because I can barely breathe at this point. I'm going over there. I'm going to wake her up, Get her halfway woke up as far as I think she go. And right back to sleep. And we did that dance for about 15, 20 minutes. I would even grab the keys. I would jingle them. I'm like, hey, we got somewhere to go. Up, sleep. Up, sleep. Up, sleep. I don't know if this is terrible for my throat, but you get the point. She was doing the whole bobblehead situation. Well, finally get her up somewhere around like 40 minutes into this whole back and forth bobblehead situation, but then she has to gather her bearings, which means we're not actively leaving until like I want to say it was like 12:30ish or so. Um, we finally get out of there. We go to the first urgent care place because I'm thinking it's gonna be great. It's an urgent care. It doesn't have that many people probably, especially considering it's a 24-hour urgent care and it's a small one at that. It only takes select insurances. I get there. Their website says they take my insurance. The actual place says no. I'm not covered under them, so I gotta go somewhere else. There, I'm in there now. At this point, I can't talk though with everything that's going on. So I'm having to use one of those text to speech websites, and I'm playing. My voice sounds like because it went back and forth between this UK guy and then the American Samantha voice sounds like I cannot hear. It sounds like the calling voice, like when you call the automated. Your phone is dialed. Thank you for calling. Goodbye. Yeah, it sounds like her. I'm putting in all these messages. I feel like they're kind of annoying because I know I'm annoyed and I'm tired of hearing it. So I can only imagine what everyone else is feeling. Um, they're patiently doing it, putting all this process together, asking me simple questions. It's a little weird. They were treating me like I didn't speak English. I'm like, no, it's not that I can't understand what you're saying. I just can't talk. All of that to say, with all of that time wasted, they're calling now to see who can take me. The nearest urgent care over can't take me either because they're like, no, you're not, your insurance isn't covered here. I'm so sorry. Very strange. So I end up having to go to the hospital, which leads us back to the story where we began at. Sat there for like 5 hours, got swabbed, uh, well, I found out I lost at least 30, 40 pounds, which is concerning because I don't be working out necessarily. I mean, like, I'm not afraid of fitness and I'll be moving around, but I lead a rather sedentary job considering I work from home for myself as content creator, editor, streamer, all the different titles that I wear. All of them require me to sit my ass still and sit the fuck down. So now that all of that's going on, I'm I'm now just making the best of the situation. I hate this experience because like over there, not that there's no proper way to say this. I don't hate I have no qualms with, nor do I have any problems with homeless people in any capacity, but also realize that when you're in a state of crisis, homeless people consistently invading your space, especially while they're trying to talk to you and you can't talk and they're getting frustrated, can be a very anxiety inducing situation because you're trying to stay calm so that you can breathe and they're getting irritated and riling you up, which is also irritating you because you want to say things like, I'm struggling here, but you're also trying not to interact either because if you interact and now began doing the whole text to speech thing, you're now engaging. And for some reason, they like not to say for some reason because I get why they would want to converse when someone's actively acknowledges them because everyone wants attention. And if you're a homeless person, a lot of people tend to walk past you like you're invisible. I get it, but it's just it's not the most favorable experience, and I don't mean that in a slighting way because I'm not trying to slight them. I mean that in a, you know, perhaps this would be better if circumstances were different, but they're not. They're really not, and I can't afford to do this right now because it's actively hurting me. So what do? Nothing. I sit there, I endure the situation. I try my best to put my headphones in and turn them up so I can just sort of disappear, put on my hood, sink into my hoodie, and I'm just slumped in. Well, I get back there, they're finally treating me. They take 20 no, no. Actually, you know what? Let me let me give you an actual timeline, because my mom was asking me what was going on because she had stuff to do as well, and me getting the ride and everything, she was waiting to take me back and all the stuff. It was it was quite a hindrance. um she asked me what was going on at what would be 4 in the morning my time. I told her they were looking for a light at, well, it was 4:11 when she asked me. I told her they were looking for a light for my throat at 4:12. I sent her a follow up message, saying that essentially they've been looking for a light forever. At this point, I'm gonna just hand them my phone at 4:27. The nurse didn't actually find a flashlight for my throat until 4:36. I sat there for 30 some odd minutes waiting for them to find a light before they could even begin treatment. Then after they began treatment, she checked my throat and everything that was going on. She asked me what symptoms was going on in sort of like yes or no fashion, so I didn't have to worry about talking. And then subjected me to a series of swab tests because, it's important. So she swabbed my throat, she swabbed my nose, see if I had COVID, see if I had strep, see if I had the things. Everything came back negative. So we still have no idea what this is. Which brings me to the point now where I'm just here girl bossing, trying to see what's going on. Maybe it'll get better, maybe it won't. But this all could have been avoided if I'd have sat my ass the hell down. So for our next segment, where I would normally pick petals, I'm gonna pick at you. I'm not picking you for the questions this time. I want you to answer me this. When the last time you actually sat the fuck down and took you a good break? And I don't mean stopping to play the video game, because video game play may be catharsis, but it doesn't actually supply any kind of energy back to your body. Maybe excitement that sort of like plays and gives you this fake out of energy, but it's not actual energy. It's not any kind of like replenishment, because your eyes are probably still burning, because nowadays many of us spend a whole bunch of time staring at computer screens. When's the last time you actually stopped, went to sleep, or stopped, sat down and just enjoyed doing nothing? Just sat down on the couch and just, I don't mean with the TV on, just sit on the couch and just enjoy the sounds. Maybe you lit a candle. Maybe you just listened to some music and relaxed in your room. Maybe you popped open a magazine, flipped through some pages, read you a book, whatever you like to do. Something simple, something that doesn't require any energy or invested movement, because even the most chill games still require you to flick your thumbs and move around, and you still got to think and invest a whole bunch of attention into it. Too much. I need you to do something now require but you to use one major muscle. And I say one major muscle, not counting all of the involuntary bodily functions, you smart asses. Two, your next question is, when are you going to? When's the next one? If you did. And if you didn't, when are you going to? Because it needs to happen. Otherwise, you could end up like me, or worse, or just different. But something gonna happen. Your day gonna come. Because like I said in the beginning here, either you can get yourself together and you can have a seat, or when it all comes down to it, you will get sat. And I'd hate for that to happen. I'd rather you do the former and not the latter, because the latter is not a fun experience. There's nothing worse than everything. You're sitting here stressing about everything you should be doing, you could be doing, you're supposed to be doing. And all of that goes out the window because life's like, man, I don't give a fuck. You ain't treat me right. I need, what about what I need? I'm here to get what I need. Because your body gonna be selfish. I'm so sorry to tell you. At the point where there's no return, your body gonna choose to be selfish. So with all that being said, my third question. I want to sit and think on this good question because I don't want to bombard you with five whole questions. I feel like three is a good number, but also I want them to be substantial questions. Like I said before, I'm not a therapist. I don't think I got the answers, Sway. But here we go. I found the question. What is your escape plan for yourself? Because you can't stay like this forever. And I need you to come together with a realistic escape plan. Because saying I'm gonna get good and make sure that I can sustain myself and blase blase. It sounds great in theory, but in actual practice, um, that blase blase sustain yourself theory. Oh, I'm gonna have to block that out. Only works if you actually get a chance to enjoy it. Only works when there's actual payoff. And with the way the economy, the world, and everything around us is set up, I'm not saying you're not gonna see it. I'm just saying it's much harder to, and I need you, and especially considering a lot of us. I say us because I don't like to exclude myself. I'm not the most like lavish and spending, but I do enjoy nice things. We all have pretty expensive and costly tastes. What it's gonna cost you to get there and enjoy life the way you want to, it's gonna it's gonna be a good while. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. You could play this back and laugh at me in my face. You could at me on Twitter, whatever, and be all like, "You dumb bitch! You said it was gonna take me forever, and look at me. I popped off." And I'm gonna be like, "I'm glad it worked out for you." Realistically, for most people that are doing this though, they most people won't get to even see the dream, and if for those who do get to see the dream, they'll see the dream when they're on the other side and now probably wanting it for their kids because they got all of these accomplishments and stuff, and they can't do anything with it because their body is tired, their body's run down, it's beat up, it's aching because we didn't take care of it to start. Now, for plugging new roots, um I'm gonna start with the song. We're gonna do "Human" by Brandy. Um, one because I love Brandy, but also, um, it's important to recognize that our humanity drives a whole bunch of what we're doing, and it's an important thing to remind you that you have limits. There's only so much you can do. You're only human. You can only accomplish so much within so much time. Um, oh, excuse me. That that was kind of gross. That was actually that wasn't kind of gross. That was gross. Uh, I need you to have a conversation with yourself and have talk to you and your ego because realistically it's your ego that's driving you to keep doing all this stuff. I need you to stop, have a conversation with yourself and your ego, and like Jill Scott say, you're getting in the way of what I'm feeling. Tell your ego to sit down so your body can get right so that both y'all can move in tandem to a better goal in the future. Because, like I said, before. If you treat it early on, you don't gotta treat it when it's a bigger problem. Pressure bust pipes is an old phrase. It's a real old phrase. The thing about pressure busting pipes is if you're properly inspecting the house, and on top of properly inspecting the house, if you're doing your best to try and make sure you're staying on top of everything in the house, you'll notice that there's something going on with the pipes. The pipes are bulging, or that there's too much water flow going, whatever's going on. You'll notice it pretty soon, and then you'll have to address it, or if you, not necessarily have to, but you'll tend to address it much earlier before the pipes get broken, and you have to call a contractor, and you have to call all these people to get the water up, and you have to call off of work to clean up the water. You see the problem here? And you better hope it's not a sewage pipe, because then you got shit everywhere. And you know who don't want to clean up a shitty mess? Exactly. My song number 4, I think it's song number 4. Can I count? No, I can't count. My song number 3 is Honey by Erykah Badu. Mostly because, I'm going to be drinking a lot of tea to keep my throat soothed, but also because it's like, it's a simple song about just enjoying what's going on. Be sweet to yourself. But she was talking about she was talking about a feeling of a moment and a euphoric sensation that was being brought on by someone else. Be sweet to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be gentle to yourself. Mm. Song number 4. Probably sounds weird to say it this way. I'm gonna go with Anxiety by Meg. It's okay to have a down day. It's okay to have a bad day. Sometimes it's in your best interest to just allow yourself to have that time. Cause much like everything going on with her, you'll bounce back. Um, Song number 5. Song number 5, Take Care, Drake and Rihanna. I don't know whose song it is. I can't remember right now. That was the era when they were making all the songs together. So it could belong to either of them. Probably belongs to both of them if you look at the credits. Either way. Um, I put that song in there because I want you to get in a space where you're okay with asking for help. You're okay with accepting help, not just asking for it, but also accepting the help too. Accept the help. And then again, this is information for you and me both. This is holding myself accountable and telling you so that you don't end up like me. Cause let's be smart about this. Now we're gonna turn a new leaf. Um, I've given this whole episode's been about advice. So for turning a new leaf, I actually encourage all of you as listeners to come back and tell me some other advice. Maybe some stuff that you feel like probably belonged in this episode but was missing. You can at me on Twitter. You can put it under the tag, hashtag the Roze Garden. Make sure you tell me it's episode 4, because I'll be looking at it like, huh? If I have no context of what you're talking about. And then I'm going to have to sit there and I'm going to think on it. And then there's going to be Jeopardy music. And I got ADHD, so I'm going to tune out of it if I get confused at a certain point. All in all, I look forward to hearing what you all have to say to me. But in closing, technically this is an emergency recording episode because I had other plans for what we were going to record this week. But, my plans and life's plans don't always coincide. And when they don't, life has to win because life's the one controlling this. I'm just sort of here. I can acknowledge that. You control your own life to a degree. To a degree. You can find me on all social media at OGLaRozaNegra. That's not a surprise. That's not a secret. If you want to know more about what's going on and see this video in real time, it will be available at 6 p.m. Pacific on Patreon, as always. For those of you who are not subscribed to the Patreon, it will be available on YouTube at 12 noon on Saturday. 12 noon, that's redundant. 12 p.m. Pacific on Saturday. Yeah, really just stop and take care of yourself. Please and thank you. Bye, everybody.